So what's up, Internet? It's your boy Vegabomber back with a couple of character studies on a couple of Star Wars characters. Mainly because the new Star Wars Force Awakens video was released earlier this week. So I thought, why don't I just break it down? So in this particular video, we're going to talk about Captain Phasma. So yes, what do we know about Captain Phasma? Well, actually, not a whole lot. Mainly because she wasn't in the film very much. But we do know that she was played by, that's right, Gwendoline Christie from Game of Thrones, who played Brienne of Tarth. Now, she plays a swashbuckler or somebody who could use the sword very well. In this movie, she's going to be using blasters, and she does, I guess, pose with one. We know she can use it, we just didn't really quite get that. But at any rate, let's move on. Let's talk more about her. So what we do know about Captain Phasma is this. She is a commander of the First Order troopers in The Force Awakens. We know that she apparently likes to be down in the battleground with her troops. She's not one of those folks that just sits back from an isolated area watching the whole thing and then giving her feedback through some intercom or something like that. She's really committed to her troops. We also know that she trains these folks, so she's good with munitions. And we know that all those stormtroopers, she has her stamp on them, and it means a lot to her. We see that in the film. In the film, remember when they're wondering who was that particular stormtrooper, FN 2187, who basically took off and stole a fighter to get off there. And she starts to make the case that, look, you know, he'd never done anything like that before. So you know that she's very proud of how she works with these particular stormtroopers and how she marshals her troops. She's serious. She is no joke. Let's talk about her uniform, because you know that uniform, it was pretty awesome. In fact, it was better than Boba Fett's uniform, if I can say that, in terms of, you know, Boba Fett's uniform, when we first saw it back in Empire Strikes Back and then again in Return of the Jedi, it was cool. It was cool. It was very cool at the time, for sure. But I would say that her chrome stormtrooper outfit, and then of course you throw in the cape, because like capes is the thing, right? You gotta have cool capes. I would say that her outfit, I don't want to say outfit, but I would say her uniform is definitely an upgrade and definitely even better than Boba Fett's. What is her uniform made out of? Well, what we understand is that chromium is made from a Naboo ship that used to be owned by the Emperor himself. So, the other thing, what about the name? What's unique about the name of Captain Phasma? Well, if you're a big Captain Phasma fan, you've probably done as much research as I have on this. You love it. And you find out that really J.J. Abrams said in an Entertainment Weekly interview that he got the name Phasma from a 1979 cult horror flick called Phantasm. That's right. And so if you're not quite sure, if you don't remember Don Casparelli's film, there was a huge, super tall man in the film called Angus Scrimm. And what he used to use or what he would send out to create horror on people or to put people in a terrifying situation was these spheres that had blades in them, right? And that sphere was chrome. So tall actress Gwendoline Christie, chrome ball that has blades to it, that's a fearsome thing. Put it together, Captain Phasma, that's how she got her name. Pretty cool, but if you're a Phasma fan, you already knew that. So hopefully seeing the poster and seeing some of these images were fun for you. Well, there's also some other things to note about Captain Phasma. This is the first time we get a female villain in Star Wars. That's right, she's a female villain. And Kathleen Kennedy said that we would see more of Captain Phasma in the next installment, episode 8. So that means, true believers, that she did find a way out of that trash compactor that they jokingly said that they put her in. So she'll be in the next movie. So like you, I share that same disdain that maybe she had, 11 lines in the whole movie and was in it for less than 2 minutes. She was in the movie almost less than Luke Skywalker, which is pretty amazing when you can consider the fact that at least she was in the trailers and Luke Skywalker wasn't. So here's the thing. Now, I'd like to say this about Captain Phasma, because as you know, I like to do my own vision inside my head are rewrites, if you will. And in fact, I will do a whole rewrite on things I would have done in The Force Awakens just to tighten up some of the loose areas. Because while it was an enjoyable film, and I did love the film, I also am not ignorant or blind to the fact that there were some holes. And so I love to tighten things up. And so here's what I would have done. And so now, scoot up, get closer, Phasma fans, because here's the part you really want to hear about. So, in my vision of the film, here's how I would rewrite Captain Phasma's role in the film. Now, some people suggested that it would be great if Captain Phasma was traitor. You know, the stormtrooper that confronted Finn and pulled out the, you know, the nice little defense stick that they have and the shield and everything to fight him. I'm saying, well, you know, let traitor be traitor, because actually that's an attribute to how good Captain Phasma trains the stormtroopers. So I say leave that scene like that. Here's where Captain Phasma should have been. Now, first of all, I don't think she would have given up the shields just that easy. I think that's a mistake. They should have put more of a fight in there. But here's what you really want to know. This is what I would have done with Captain Phasma. To me, what should have happened, let me sprinkle a little fairy dust here as I try to put my little magic to the film. It's like this. They showed the whole film that Chewie's bowcaster was just blowing people off their feet. I would have had Kylo Ren kind of blown off that skiff a little bit, but he's hanging on, and yet he's holding his side and he's bleeding, right? And so you fade from that scene and you cut to Finn and Rey running across the snow trying to get away, because they're trying to get to Chewbacca and the ship to get away, right? So that then the planet can be blown up. What I would have had happen instead is I would have had Captain Phasma be the one that cuts them off. So what I would have had then was Phasma come up. She would have said, wait a minute, where do you think you're going, FN 2187? We've got business to take care of. You're the first one to break my mind control, and you're gonna be the last one to do that. And you could see her at that moment pull out the riot gear that Traitor used as well. And then you see Finn thinking, well, I've got this lightsaber. Maz Kanata gave it to him, might as well use it. So you see him turn it on, right? And Rey's kind of like, you know, like, whoa, what's going on here? So that Phasma clearly wants Finn. She doesn't care about Rey. Rey's not a real big problem for her just yet. First problem is Finn made her look bad. So those two get into the fight. And I would have, of course, since she's a captain, she's a badass, she takes Finn out and no problem puts Finn down. And she's going to take care of him right then and there. But then when she does beat him, when she does beat Finn, she knocks the lightsaber out of his hand. And the lightsaber goes falling into the snow, right not far from Rey. And that's where you get the cinematic goal that should happen. You can already see Rey just reaching down, kind of just grabbing the lightsaber, because now the lightsaber is really calling to her. And she's like, that's my friend who risked a lot just to come back here for me. Yeah. And then what you see is Captain Phasma kind of mean mugging, kind of standing over Finn, kind of like Muhammad Ali, right? And that famous poster over, is it Joe Louis or is it one of his victims, one of Muhammad Ali's many victims? You kind of see her stand up and you see her look up and she's like, oh, And you see Rey going, it's not going down like that. And Captain Phasma's like, you know, this really isn't going to be a good look for you. And then Captain Phasma and Rey now get into it. And now we got that scene, folks. We got that scene we've been wanting to see for a long time. We got these two females now. They're going to battle each other, right? Because this makes sense. And so what we see is Captain Phasma is wearing out Rey. Because remember, again, Rey's been good at everything else. She can't be good at everything, right? And she shouldn't be good at this. Because, again, Phasma's trained. So Phasma does what she needs to do. And Phasma beats Rey. And then, of course, because the planet's crumbling and all this other stuff is starting to happen, if you got to do that ex machina of the ground splitting to save Kylo Ren instead, in this case, I'd like to see that ground split and it saves Rey. But Finn is also on that same side of the mountain that Rey is on, so that when Chewie comes and picks them up, he can get both of them. And Phasma is just kind of like sitting there like, You know, and that's the cut. And then now she's leaving because she wants to try to get off the planet as well. That way she can be in episode 8. So that's how I would have imagined it. That's what really should have happened, in my opinion, in terms of making everybody happy, in the sense that Captain Phasma then would have had something to do in the film, besides just give order and act like a mid-level manager to other people giving her orders. We needed to see her battle, because that's what Gwendolyn Christie does. That's what Brienne of Tarth does, right? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my take on Captain Phasma as a character study and my rewrite as to what I think she should do. I'm going to do one on Finn, and I'm also going to do on Kylo Ren. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you like what you've heard here today, and definitely share it or comment below if you have some ideas or some things that you liked about the video. But until then, this is Vegabomber, and I'm out. You.